Okay. So we are going to take a look at some prompts that have a superhero type theme to them. So let's just get right into it. You are the world's second best assassin. You've deposed royalty, killed businessmen, and been the accident that more than a few celebrities have met. Today, you've been given a new target, the world's best assassin. That sounds like fun. That sounds like it could be a challenge. Because you're the second best. But, if you manage to take out the best assassin, the job is now yours. All your life, you have been shunned for being the only normal person in a family of superheroes. One day, your family is defeated and kidnapped. It's up to you to save them. The family is going to need to make this up to me big time. I love that. It's just like, how is a normal person going to do it? We've seen normal people without superpowers be pretty strong, formidable opponents. So it's good work. You have one wish from a genie left, and you decide to wish for superpowers. The genie grants you the wish, but your new power is in direct correlation with your biggest fear. That sounds terrifying. You live in a world where you get any powers of a person you killed. That sounds interesting. Better not have any powers. You can stop time as long as you hold your breath. You have trained yourself to hold your breath for a maximum of 3 minutes at a time, and today is the day you break out of prison. I mean, this could have been in one where it's like story prompts with a twist. And today's the day you break out of prison. I mean, okay. Also, I feel like 3 minutes is a really long time to be able to hold your breath. But also, subsequently, I feel like 3 minutes is probably not long enough to break out of a prison. But what do I know? I've never been to prison. Maybe it would take 3 minutes. Maybe it would take less than that. Who knows? But I feel like 3 minutes is way too long to hold your breath for. But yeah, use your powers for good, not evil. You've fallen in love with your best friend. Sadly, they are obviously smitten with the local superhero story of everybody's life. You decide to support them and use your secret identity as a supervillain to try and set them up. See, I feel like this is another one where it's like, and the twist. I mean, good on you for supporting them, I guess. But also, like, does the superhero like your best friend? Because, I mean, you can try to set them up, but just don't force it. Let them figure things out for themselves. But, yeah. You come from a family of highly respected heroes. All three of your big brothers are known as powerhouses, but you rarely see them since they're always saving the city. One day, you realize that the only way to see all of your brothers is to become a villain. Turns out you're better at it than you thought, and family dinners suddenly become the most amusing time of the day. You know what? Yes, definitely the only way to see, your hero siblings is to become a villain. No, it's not. Don't become villains. Don't do it. Be good people. I mean, family dinners would become the most amusing time of day, but like, if you didn't have time to see them, how are you still seeing them at dinners? That's all I'm saying. Your best friend has amazing powers that he is wasting away with his lack of ambition. It's always the lack of ambition people that get all the powers. So you decide to give them a lift by acting as a villain. There it is. We're becoming villains again. Don't become villains. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I also feel like I probably should put that as a disclaimer. Don't become villains. Don't do bad things. Everyone has their little secrets, but you just found a supervillain lair under your house belonging to your spouse. Well, at least this time you're not the villain. You're just married to the villain. But how do you know it's a supervillain lair and not a superhero lair? I mean, true heroes don't necessarily have layers, but they could. And maybe your spouse is a superhero and not a supervillain. But probably likely that your spouse is a supervillain. Or your spouse knows a supervillain. Because how do you know that it belongs to your spouse unless they got like photos of themselves or on the door like so-and-so's evil lair? Like, I feel like there's a lot of holes in this one. You're a superhero cheating on your spouse with your nemesis. Don't cheat on people either, guys. Your spouse is a supervillain cheating on you with their nemesis. You. How? Neither of you are aware of each other's identity, but both of you are racked with guilt and decide to break off the adultery at the same time. Okay. Really? Don't give me the whole Superman puts on glasses and is Clark Kent business. Like, no. It doesn't work. How are you having a full-on affair with somebody and you don't realize that it's actually your partner? I don't care if you're a superhero, supervillain, regular folk. Like, how does this happen? But at least you're both racked with guilt and decide to break off the adultery at the same time. So, yay. This one's ridiculous. You are one of thousands who received superpowers. Cool. You are the strongest out of all. That seems like it could be complicated. To entertain yourself, you have played the villain and let the less powerful keep you at bay. When real evil comes, you must work together and must convince the others that you have been messing around the whole time. I knew it was going to be a problem when I was the strongest out of all of them. So why would you do this? Like, I guess to boost their ego, but like also like, why? I don't see the reason for it. A senile old superhero still goes out to fight crime. That's adorable. None of the younger heroes respect him anymore, but all of the villains have a soft spot for him. Maybe I'm the villain because I have a soft spot for this senile old superhero. That's adorable. But yeah, none of the younger heroes would respect an older hero at all. Like, it would not happen. And the villains, I mean, a lot of them probably fought the superhero, so it's like, oh, he's still out there. He's still out there trying to save the day. That's so sweet. It's been many years since the last superpowered being was seen. Sounds right. Large rewards are given to those who turn these beings in. Today, as you're walking your dog, you spot an old woman rush into the road. She stops a speeding car with one hand right before it can run over a child. So can we get this old woman and the old superhero in the previous prompt together? Because I feel like they would be a good power couple. I do. I feel like they would be a good power couple. Oh, it's like, what do you do though? It's like large rewards are given to those who turn these beings in. It's like, do I turn in this old woman who saved a child and get money, or do I just pretend I didn't see anything? Me and my dog, we didn't see a thing. That's probably what I would do, but depends on how large the reward is, I guess. No, I probably would be the good person and pretend I didn't see anything, but You never know. Humans once wielded formidable magical powers. Ooh. But with over 7 billion of us on the planet, now mana has spread far too thinly to have any effect. When hostile aliens reduce humanity to a mere fraction, the survivors discover an old power has begun to reawaken once again. Why does this sound like Infinity War? Why does this sound like Infinity War? This sounds like Infinity War. It's like, when hostile aliens reduce humanity to a mere fraction. Come on. That's Infinity War, isn't it? Tell me that this is not Infinity War. Except they don't discover powers. They have powers, and then some of them don't, but they don't get powers. So I guess there's that. But, like, the reducing the fraction thing, that's Thanos in Infinity War, right? Oh, that's Infinity War. That's all I'm saying about that. After years of stress, the hero snaps and goes crazy, destroying everything in his path. Okay. Unbelievably to the eyes of the citizens, the least suspecting person comes to save the city. The villain. Naturally. Oh boy. I feel like a hero would snap eventually. Just being put up on a pedestal and being held in such high regard. Like, 100%. But the villain comes to save the day. Because it's the proof that not everybody's all bad and not everybody's all good. Certain people excluded. If you know, you know. And if you don't, pay attention in history class, will you? You are the sidekick of the local superhero. Why? Why can't I be the hero? Your IQ is extremely high and you always manage to locate the enemy so your partner can round them up. See, no. This is where I give up. However, the current villain is so incredibly stupid that you cannot possibly anticipate his next move and whereabouts. Not where I thought this was going. Hindsight, it makes sense. But I thought it was going to be like the sidekick just being like, I'm done. And either snapping and becoming a villain, because that happens a lot in these prompts right now, or just like, I'm done. I'd be done. Like, if I'm the one locating the enemy so that my partner can round them up, if I'm doing all the heavy lifting and they're just like swooping in to save the day, nah. That's where I walk away. I walk away. I either become my own hero because clearly I'm good enough to be a sidekick, so I'm good enough to be a hero, or I become a villain and destroy. You and your sibling engage in the traditional snapping of the wishbone this Thanksgiving. I never win. Unknown to each other, you both have wished to become the most powerful hero in the world. When the bone snaps, it is evenly split perfectly down the middle. That never happens. What are you talking about? Unfortunately for you two, only one can be the most powerful of them all. Am I going to have to destroy my sibling? Am I going to have to destroy my sibling so I could be the most powerful of them all? I mean, I get the logic behind it, like only one can be the most powerful of them all, but I feel like, bro, we can share. And I say bro because I have a brother, but like, we can share the power. We can both be the most powerful people in the world. I woke up one morning and my powers were back. All of them. I need context. All of them? Okay, so is this Captain Marvel? Is Captain Marvel? She just woke up and all the powers were back? Every last one of them? Because I feel like that's Captain Marvel. It could be Miss Marvel. She had quite a few powers too. All of them? What are all of them? The imagination just runs wild with this one. I woke up one morning and my powers were back. All of them. So you knew you had powers because they were back. It's not like, oh, I woke up and I got powers. It's like, no, they were back. So I had them. I knew I had them. All of them. All of the powers. You were once the ultimate hero. Cool. Wait, once? I don't like that. Undefeated as far as the world knew. Okay, cool. The truth. Here we go. Am I the villain? You have an ability that activates moments before your death, allowing you to travel back in time and prevent it. You're now 103 years old. Your last day alive has constantly looping before you die of old age, and you have no idea how to stop it. With great power comes great pain in the behind. Oh, that would suck. Being like 103 years old, ready to die already. Like, I've lived a full life. And you keep going back. And you have no idea how to stop it. And so you're going to live forever. That's exhausting. That's exhausting. Story idea. A superhero story where the villain and the superhero are roommates, and they keep making excuses to each other about why they're out all the time, and they stitch each other up after battles, but neither has any idea that the other is their nemesis, and they keep on having to lie to each other why they are covered in scratches and bruises. Now, I know I said I had an issue with a similar idea with, the superhero and the supervillain's spouses. But I feel like you probably know your roommate's a little less than your spouse, and you're not having like this intimate relationship with them on the side. So I feel like you can get away with this in the roommates, just they were roommates angle, but you can't get away with it if you were spouses. And so therefore, I really like this idea. This is a fun idea. I feel like especially if you have like masks, it can be hard to tell. Because you're only seeing like their face. Where the husband and wife were seeing more. If you get the drift. Yeah. I like this one. This one's fun. The girl stood before you, just broke bulletproof glass with a single punch. You know what? It doesn't say how old the girl is, but I'm going to choose to believe that the girl is like 6. Because that's more entertaining. Like, that's more entertaining. It's like, if it's a young girl, it's entertaining. If it's an older one, less entertaining. But like just a random like 6-year-old going breaking bulletproof glass with a single punch, and I'm like, okay. The first and greatest superhero and villain of all time, respectively, were said to have destroyed each other in combat. Here's the thing, they did not do that. Decades later, the current greatest supervillain is instantly annihilated after threatening an elderly couple outside their remote cottage. It is only sometime later when the truth becomes known. Yes. Oh, the first and greatest superhero and villain of time. They were said to have destroyed each other, but you know what the truth is? They saw soft spots in each other. They fell in love, retired from a life of crime and stopping crime, and they decided to move to a cottage in the middle of nowhere. And then a new supervillain comes in and threatens, this normal elderly couple in their remote cottage. I'm putting it in the woods because that's what I think of when I think remote. Could be a desert, all things considered, but either way, he gets annihilated and people start looking for answers, and they stumble upon this elderly couple, and it's like, hey, you two look familiar. And it's like, yeah, we were the greatest superhero and villain. We were the first. We fell in love, y'all. We fell in love. As a mute supervillain, you've managed to survive, made bank, and became ruthlessly efficient because no hero could bait you to monologue. Until a hero learned sign language. Yeah, I mean, supervillains do love their monologues. And it usually ends up being the end of them. But if I'm a mute supervillain, I can't monologue. And then the hero had to go and learn sign language. And now I can monologue in sign language. Well, that was an interesting one to end on. Let me know, what did you think of these prompts with a superhero, supervillain, superpowered type theme to them? Yeah, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you all liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye.